What if everything you've ever believed about reality was backwards? What if you're not seeing the world as it is, but instead collapsing a version of it into existence with every thought, every emotion, every unconscious expectation? Right. Now, in this very moment, you think you're observing life? But what if life is actually responding to you? It's not metaphorically, not spiritually, but quantum mechanically. Imagine this. You're not just walking through a world that exists independently of you. You're tuning into a specific frequency, and that frequency determines what you perceive, what unfolds, what materializes. It's not the events outside of you shaping your inner world. It's the exact opposite. You are the projector, not the screen. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people are stuck in a feedback loop of their own creation. They look at life through the lens of fear, scarcity, doubt, then wonder why those same patterns keep showing up. They believe they're cursed with bad luck or trapped by fate, but in reality, they're just broadcasting the same signal on repeat, collapsing the same timeline over and over. The quantum field, the infinite sea of potential, isn't selecting. For them, it's responding to them. That means your beliefs, even the ones you don't know you have, are shaping your world like commands. You think you're remembering the past, but you're actually recreating it. You think you're preparing for the future, but you're locking into a version of it shaped by your present vibration. Reality isn't waiting for you to believe in it. It's waiting for you to tune into the version of it you want to live. And that shift doesn't require force. It requires observation. Not the passive kind, but the kind that knows what it's doing. So stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you won't just understand why your life feels stuck, you'll know how to break the loop. Not by trying harder, but by observing differently. Because you're not just witnessing your life, you're collapsing. And that changes everything. You've been told that seeing is believing, but in the quantum universe, believing is seeing. The moment you expect something, even unconsciously, your brain starts filtering, deleting, and amplifying the data that aligns with that expectation. Your senses are not giving you reality, they're giving you confirmation. Your brain is a prediction machine, not a camera. And so if you've been walking through life expecting things to go wrong, expecting to struggle, expecting disappointment, then guess what? The quantum field, the invisible web of probability, starts collapsing possibilities that match that. Frequency. It's not that better options don't exist. They're there surrounding you right now, like uncollapsed waveforms of light waiting for your signal. But if your emotional state, your dominant thoughts, and your unconscious programs are vibrating at fear, at lack, at this is just how it is, then those possibilities stay locked in potential. And this is where most people get stuck. They work hard. They set goals. They affirm. But they do it from an energy of, it's not here yet. And in the quantum field, that not here yet is a frequency, and that frequency collapses into more not here yet. This is the trap. You're trying to change the screen without changing the projector. But here's the twist. The moment. You observe differently not just with your eyes, but with your energy. You unlock a version of reality that's been waiting for your signal. And the change is instant. It's not always in form, but in frequency. The field doesn't respond to your effort. It responds to your coherence. So the real question becomes, what if everything you've been trying to get is already yours the moment you observe it as done? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, something invisible keeps pulling you back into the same emotional cycles, the same arguments, the same financial stress, the same numb low hum of dissatisfaction? You read the books, you journal, you set intentions on every new moon, but then nothing changes. Not really. Maybe you have a good week, a flash of momentum, a glimmer of hope, and then it slips. Like your life is running on a script you didn't write but can't seem to rewrite. And the most frustrating part, you can't quite name what's wrong. You just feel stuck. Like you're walking through a hallway that keeps leading you back to the same room, different furniture, same feeling. Here's the truth. No. One told you, it's not your effort that's broken. It's the lens you're observing through. That lens, your emotional reflexes, your automatic thoughts, your inherited beliefs, isn't just showing you life. It's selecting it. Most people don't realize they're observing their reality through a filter coded by trauma, by culture. by childhood survival patterns. And every time you react from that same old frequency, you collapse another day into the same loop. Not because you want to, but because you're still entangled with the identity that created it. And until that entanglement breaks, you can't step into a new version of life. You'll keep chasing change from the same frequency that built the problem. That's why manifestation doesn't work for so many people. Not because the field isn't listening, but because the signal is scrambled. So here's the pivotal question. What if the version of you that's free, abundant, loved, and clear is already broadcasting right now, waiting for you to match its signal? Here's the shift that changes everything. You are not your thoughts, not your emotions, not even your beliefs. You are the one who observes them. But what no one teaches you is that the way you observe determines the reality you collapse. Observation isn't passive. In quantum mechanics, the observer participates in the creation of reality. That means every time you watch your life, through the lens of lack, of fear, of waiting, you're not just noticing what is, you're choosing what continues to be. Your attention is not just light, it's a command. Your focus is not just mental light, it's magnetic. Think about that. If you check your bank account with anxiety, scroll your messages with distrust. Look in the mirror searching for flaws, you're broadcasting a frequency that says, "This is my truth." The field responds, not with judgment, but precision. And the longer you observe through that lens, the more your reality molds itself around it, not because it's objectively real, but because your observation gave it structure. That's why your outer world doesn't change even when your intentions do, because the observer hasn't shifted. And here's the beautiful part. You can change the observer. You can step out of autopilot and become aware of how you're watching your world. You can catch the moment your body tightens from a past emotion, pause and say, "That's not me anymore." You can notice the fear that whispers, "What if it doesn't work?" And instead say, "What if it already has?" This is not about lying to yourself, it's about choosing the version of you that aligns with the reality you want to live. You're not faking it, you're remembering, because that version of youth, the one who already feels free, whole, magneticus, not a fantasy. They already exist in the field. Every time you shift your observation, you move closer to their timeline. There's a simple yet profound truth that even advanced spiritual seekers often overlook. Your nervous system is the bridge between your observation and your reality. You can visualize the most abundant future, repeat the most powerful affirmations, and meditate for hours. But if your body is still broadcasting survival, the signal will not land. Why? Because the quantum field does not respond to your intentions. It responds to your coherence. And coherence means your mind, heart, and body are speaking the same frequency. This is where most people create resistance without realizing it. They affirm abundance, but feel tightness in their chest when they think about money. They visualize love, but flinch emotionally at the thought of being seen. That dissonance is not a flu, it's a clue. Sacred notification from your body saying, the signal is scrambled. So here's the practice. Before you try to manifest anything, check in with your body, breathe, drop into stillness. Ask, can I feel the version of me who already has this? Not think, feel. Can your breath slow down? Can your shoulders soften? Can your energy expand even, if just 5% into trust? This is what neuroscientist Dr. Joe Dispenza calls elevating your emotion to match your intention. You feel now what you think only exists in the future. You collapse that future into the present. And this isn't abstract. Studies show that when people practice focused coherence where their brainwaves and heart rhythms synchronize, their electromagnetic field becomes stronger, more stable, more magnetic, and reality begins to respond in ways that defy logic. Synchronicities multiply, ideas land, people appear. Why? Because your signal became clean. So instead of trying to force your life into a new shape, shift into a new frequency, one breath, one posture, one emotional tone at a time. You're not creating something from scratch. You're matching a version of yourself that already exists in the field. It's just waiting for your signal to say, I'm ready. Stability in the quantum field doesn't come from control, it comes from consistency. If your life keeps swinging between moments of high energy and deep doubt, it's not because you're broken, it's because your signal hasn't stabilized. Think of your vibration like a radio station. If you keep tuning back and forth between frequencies, gratitude, one moment, worry the next, you send the field a mixed message. And the quantum doesn't respond to noise. It responds to clarity. That's why some people seem to manifest effortlessly, while others struggle for years. It's not luck, it's alignment. So how do you stabilize your frequency without obsessing or forcing? Through a practice I call the focus loop method. It's not complicated, but it's sacred. Step 1. Morning declaration. Before you reach for your phone, your to-do list, or your doubts, pause and ask, what version of reality am I choosing to observe today? Name it, feel it, breathe. Into it, you've just given your field a clean command. Step 2. Midday reset. Set a silent alarm on your phone. When it goes off, close your eyes for just 10 seconds and say to yourself, I return to the version of me I'm becoming. That's not just a mantra, it's a timeline recalibration. Step 3. Evening embodiment. Day. Not for what went wrong, but for the moments you observed from your future self. Replay those moments. Feel them. Let them sink into your body. Sleep while your field is holding that frequency. Why does this work? Because repetition creates resonance. And resonance is what collapses timelines. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent enough to tip the scale. The universe doesn't need you to be high vibe all the time. It needs you to be committed to the version of you who already knows. Every time you return to that frequency, even for a moment, you strengthen the signal. Eventually, that signal becomes who you are. Not an effort, not a performance. Just your natural field. Let's go deeper, because here lies the true block that no one wants to admit. You're still entangled with the version of yourself who needed the pain to survive. That identity, the one who always had to be careful, to hustle for love, too. Brace for loss wasn't wrong. It was built to protect you. But now, it's no longer aligned with the reality you're trying to live. And unless you release the emotional contract with that old version, your signal will stay fragmented. You'll keep choosing from fear even when your mind says abundance. You'll keep hesitating, self-sabotaging, second-guessing not. Because you're weak, but because your nervous system still thinks safety equals staying the same. This is the hidden architecture of your subconscious. It runs the show quietly, shaping your reactions, your reflexes, your energy based on outdated codes. So how do you rewrite the code? You don't fight the old identity, you thank it. Bring it into the light. Try this. Close your eyes and ask, what version of me am I still keeping alive out of fear? Maybe it's the one who had to be invisible to avoid pain, or the one who believed being small kept them safe. Feel them, see them, and now ask, is that still true? The answer will rise not from your mind, but from your body. If your chest softens, if your breath deepens, you're ready to let it go. And letting go doesn't mean pushing away. It means choosing a new alignment, one that says, I no longer need this protection. I am safe to expand, safe to receive, safe to be seen. When you do this not once, but consistently, you dissolve the emotional glue that keeps your old timeline looping in the field. It adjusts. Not because you forced it, but because your frequency no longer holds the past as present. Your highest self, the version of you who lives in joy, abundance, love, and clarity, is not a fantasy. They are a living frequency already encoded in the quantum field. They don't need to be created. They need to be tuned into. And here's the radical truth. The moment you begin to observe life from their perspective, you begin to collapse. Their timeline. You're not stepping into the future. You're synchronizing with a signal that already exists. So how do you connect? Not with effort, with resonance. Close your eyes, take a slow breath, and ask, how does the version of me who is already living my dream reality see this moment? Not later now. Feel how they walk, how they breathe, what they no longer worry about, what they already know. Yes. Let that energy fill your body not as imagination, but as calibration. This isn't visualization, it's embodiment. In every second, You stay in that frequency. You send a new signal to the field, a signal that says, this is who I am now, not who I'm trying to become, who I remember I've always been. This is what mystics called living from the end. It's not waiting for evidence, but becoming the proof. Because when you start observing from your future self's lens, your body shifts, your energy stabilizes, your timeline begins to respond. Subtle, at first less reactivity, more flow, conversations that open doors, choices that align without effort. Why? Because coherence isn't a thought, it's a field. And the more you anchor that field in your nervous system, the less you're ruled by the past. You don't have to fake it. You don't have to perform. You just have to observe as them, feel as them, and respond from their center. This is the truest form of manifestation. Not chasing, not asking, but becoming. The question is not how. Do I get there? The question is, how long am I willing to stay here? Holding the frequency of your highest self in a world built on doubt, no noise. And reaction is not about isolating yourself. It's about anchoring your truth so deeply that the outer world can't pull you out of alignment. This isn't spiritual bypass. It's energetic mastery. The truth is, the old world, the one shaped by fear, scarcity, urgency, will try to test your signal. Not because it's evil, but because that's what fields do. They check for coherence. They ask, are you really living this new identity, or just visiting it? So the key is not to avoid the old patterns, it's to observe them without collapse. When a triggering email arrives, when doubt whispers, when someone questions your path, pause, breathe. Instead of reacting from your old self, ask, what does the version of me who already lives in peace choose right now? That question is your portal. It interrupts the loop. It realigns your frequency. It reclaims your timeline. But here's what most people miss. Consistency is not about always being high vibe. It's about always returning. The return. Is the mastery you fall, you come back, you forget, you realign, you contract, you breathe and choose again. That return builds a neurological and energetic pathway until the new version of you becomes not just accessible, but automatic, like muscle memory for your soul. And soon, things start to shift. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. You stop chasing validation. You stop scanning for signs that it's working because you are the sign. You become the still point in a chaotic field. And from that stillness, the world responds, not with chaos, but with coherence. Not with resistance, but with reflection. Because the outer world is not leading your inner state anymore. Your inner state is leading the world you collapse. Here's the final shift. The one most people never make, not because it's hard, but because it's subtle. If you truly want to live in a new timeline, you must recode not just your thoughts, but your nervous system. Why? Because your nervous system is the storage system of your past identity. Every contraction, every freeze, every fight-flight impulse is a stored signal from who you used to be. And until you teach your body to feel safe in the frequency of expansion, it will keep pulling you back, not out of sabotage, but out of habit. So how do you rewire it? Not with more information, but with sensation. Here's a practice to begin right now. Find a quiet space, close your eyes, and breathe deeply into your belly. Bring to mind the version of you who already lives the life you're calling in. Feel their calm, their certainty, their openness. Now notice what parts of your body resist it. Is there tension in your chest? A clench in your gut? It's the old code surfacing. Don't fight it, observe it with love. Breathe into it. Let your body know it's safe now. We don't live there anymore. Stay in that state. 3 minutes, then 5, then 10. Do this daily, not as a routine, but as a recalibration. Because the more your body remembers how to feel peace, the more your field stabilizes. And when your field stabilizes, reality bends. This is quantum embodiment, not philosophy, not motivation, mechanics. You're not here to chase timelines. You're here to collapse into them through breath, through presence, through becoming. And now, if something in you feels lighter, deeper, more still, that's not coincidence. That's coherence. You felt the shift. You've remembered the truth. Now anchor it. Return to this frequency as often as you can. Let it become your baseline. Let it become who you are. And if this message activated something in you, if your field feels clearer, your breath slower, your soul more certain, then share this with someone you care about. Like the video, comment below what part resonated most, and subscribe if you're ready to keep rising. This channel isn't just content, it's a frequency, and now you're a part of it. Welcome to your next timeline.